At the start of the narrative, we are introduced to three robbers whose names are Buddy, Darling and Griff, who were there to steal from a bank, had a driver named Baby with them. Moments later, the three of them emerged from the bank after the robbery, and that's when the police started chasing them. But Baby managed to trick the police effortlessly with his driving skills. They then switched cars and returned to their base, where they encountered a man named Doc. Doc was the person who is known for hiring criminals to commit thefts. After that, Doc gave each member their share of the money. When they went down to the garage, Doc only gave Baby a stack of cash and kept all of his share. In fact, Baby had caused Doc $1 million loss in a car accident during their childhood, which is why Baby works for Doc to compensate for his loss. Doc told Baby that he would need to assist him in another robbery, after which their accounts would be settled. Baby then went back home, where we see a character named Joseph. We see the person named who is the guardian of the baby. In fact, the baby's parents passed away during childhood, and we have been observing since then. He was brought up with affection. Joseph was unable to talk or hear, so Baby pulled out his tape recorder that contained recordings of Doc and the others' conversations. Baby finds joy in recording conversations to make music. He then went to a cafe to enjoy a cup of coffee. At this place, Baby met a waitress named Deborah, and they both started liking each other at first sight. After returning home, Baby was happily listening to music when Doc's call came in, and now Baby would have to go on his last mission. Upon returning to his base, Doc introduced Baby to his new team, which included a guy named Bats. Bats started asking Baby why he always listens to music. Then Doc informed Bats that Baby had an accident in his childhood. Thus, he continues to hear voices in his ears, which he tries to diminish by listening to music. Now Doc revealed the theft plan, and the next day they departed to execute the robbery. As they were escaping after robbing the bank, a security guard started chasing them, firing continuously at them, but Baby somehow managed to get the car out of there. They advanced on the highway and forcibly took another car, escaping from the scene. On their way, the Chinese man told them he had forgotten his gun in that vehicle. Regardless, they headed to the parking lot. They entered the parking lot and switched their cars once more. After that, Baby went out to get some coffee. Upon his return, he found that the Chinese man was absent. In reality, Batch had killed him due to his own mistakes. He forgot his gun in that car, and because of that mistake, they were all stuck. In the garage, Doc took all of Baby's money and gave him just one car. Doc told Baby he was free now. Doc told Baby that he was fully free now. He had settled all of Doc's debts. After that, Baby went directly to Deborah and told her that he was completely free now. So, he would spend all his time with her. Before they knew it, their closeness began to grow, and Baby had even found a job delivering pizzas. One day, Baby was with Deborah. They both went on a date and were very happy after having dinner at an expensive restaurant. When the waiter told them that their bill had been paid, Baby turned around and saw it was the dog who had done it, paid their bill. The dog mentioned to the baby that he has landed a significant job, and this time the baby will also get a fair share of it. He can be happy, so he agreed. The next day, the dog picked up the baby and his nephew and took him to a post office to check the cameras and guards. The baby made a list of cameras and guards and talked to a receptionist. He told the dog everything. Now, they were ready. They gathered at their place again. This time, Buddy, Darling, and Bats were there. They liked the baby's work. Now, the dog explained everything. The dog explained the plan. They had to get blank receipts for money orders from the post office, worth crores. They needed new weapons. They must visit the dog supplier at night to get what they need. So they are going out to get new weapons. As soon as they reached the supplier, Bats noticed something was off because he recognized their faces. The dealer was just explaining about his weapons when Bats opened fire on them. Bats shot at them, and after a long time of shooting, all the supplier's men were dead. Bats was angry, wondering why he did that. He then told them they were all police officers. They were police officers. One of them had arrested him once. Anyway, they managed to escape from there. On the way, Bats felt hungry, so he suggested stopping at a restaurant. Baby was not keen on going there because Deborah worked at that restaurant. However, after Bats insisted multiple times, Baby had to go. Deborah took their orders, and Baby pretended he didn't know her. Baby was acting like he didn't know Deborah because if Bats discovered that Deborah was his girlfriend, he could potentially harm her. Just as they were about to leave, as they reached, Doc had already gotten wind of everything, including the supplier's downfall. Bats claimed to be a police officer, but Doc asserted that he was aware he was a police officer. He was a cop, but he really was a cop. They were working for me, and I wanted to back out of this mission, but everyone insisted, so he agreed to this sorry situation. At night, Baby started sneaking out of there, since he needed to go on a long ride with Deborah. But even then, large bats showed up. The bats grabbed Baby's tape recorder that had all their recordings, and they thought Baby was a spy. They thought he was a spy, so they knocked him out and took him upstairs. Before he woke up, they brought all his recordings from home and placed them there. Then Baby played a recording for them. He played a recording where he had made music using Doc's voice. Upon hearing this, they were convinced that Baby was merely recording for his own pleasure. But when they heard the recording titled Deborah, they were taken aback. It had the same waitress's voice. Now everyone knew she was Baby's girlfriend. Doc wanted to hire another driver, but after Baby's request, he agreed. They agreed that the next day, those people went to the post office to steal. Everyone went in while Baby waited outside. Then, the receptionist Baby had seen before arrived, had looked at the day prior. He refused to let her in. She got scared and brought a police officer there. By the time everyone came out, the bats had killed that police officer. They started telling Baby to drive away. But Baby did not like the police officer being killed by the bats at all, so he crashed the car into a truck standing in front. The car crashed into his chest and he was killed right there. Baby came out and started arguing with him about why he did that. Just then the police arrived, so all three of them fled. While escaping from the police, Baby broke into a car. Just as he was leaving, he collided with another vehicle that had Big and Darling inside, and by then, the police had surrounded them. They were firing at them from all sides. Darling was also shooting back, but just then, Darling got hit by bullets and died right there. In anger, Big fired at the police. He opened fire on the police, wanting to kill Baby too, but Baby managed to escape. On the way, he stole a car from someone and headed straight home, where he had been until now. He wanted to take all the money that was given. With the shield tucked into his pockets, he was taken to an old age home, allowing Jojo to live the remainder of his life in tranquility. He could leave here forever, but before he arrived, there was a big man sitting there who was restless to take revenge on Baby, and he was about to kill Deborah when a police officer arrived. A police officer came who wanted to use the restroom, and as soon as he left, Baby shot the big man and escaped with Deborah, heading directly to Doc's location. Initially, Doc declined to assist him since Baby had disrupted his plan, but eventually, he gave Baby some cash and important items for the journey. As soon as they came down, the big man attacked them with a police car, knocking Doc over with the vehicle and starting to assault Baby, but Baby somehow managed to throw the big man's car off. He managed to throw the big man's car off with his own vehicle, but the big man escaped again, firing shots near Baby's ear, causing Baby to hear a ringing sound, and just as he was about to kill Deborah, the baby got shot.